If you're looking for a quick way to connect Airtable to Google Looker Studio, I think this video is for you. Today we're looking at Skyvia.com, more specifically about their connector that will connect your instance of Airtable to Looker Studio. Oh, by the way, hi. If you're new here, my name is Alex, and on this channel, we talk about low-code, Airtable, make.com, and everything in between. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay, so first things first, we need to connect Airtable to Skyvia. Very straightforward. If you haven't done this already, go ahead and do so. Let me just explain how this is done very quickly. So as soon as you log in, click on New Connection, choose Airtable, click Sign in with Airtable. There's going to be like a little pop-up, and choose the base that you want to connect, and then just press Grant Access. Once you've done that, you can just give your connection a name and just make sure that you create the connection. Oh, well, before that, you actually have to choose the base again, and you can see here I can choose the base, and just don't forget to press Create Connection. Now, once you do that, you will have this little connection here. You'll see that it's the name that you've given it, and there's also like a little Airtable icon. The next thing to do is to actually create an endpoint. Again, we have to click on New, SQL Endpoint, and here we need to just click on Sales V1 because that's the name of my database. This is where I have all of my data. I'm going to set it up as public. And here you can also add users. So right now I'm going to create a user with username test and password test. That's it. Then I'm going to go into next step, and endpoint name, let's just call it sales v1 Skyvia, and save the endpoint. Perfect. So now we've got our endpoint URL created. Now let's jump into a brand new Google Looker report so that we can see how that works over there. So here I am in Google Looker Studio. I'm going to add some data, and I'm going to look for Skyvia Connect. There we go. Over here, we need to add some of the details that we have been given by Skyvia. So first and foremost, the endpoint URL, copy that, paste it in. The username, I think it was test and test. The type is table, and press next. Hopefully this should work. And the object is sales because that's the table that I want to add. And once I'm ready, I'll just click on connect. Well, there's no connect, it's just add. So now this should add my sales table as a data source for me to use in Google Looker Studio. Now, this is one of the easiest ways to connect Airtable to Looker Studio, but there is a small catch. As you can see, it's just loading the data, and that's all well and good. Now, bear in mind that this particular table has got 5,000 records, so it's plenty. One thing to keep in mind is that you're going to be using what Skyvia calls a connect account. And that connect account has only got a set amount of data transfer that you are allowed per month. If you want to see how much is being consumed, I think you're going to be a little bit worried, as I am. So all you have to do to find out how much data is being consumed is just to click on the U and the little profile icon up here at the top right-hand corner, and then account. And then over here, you'll see the consumption of your plan. As you can see, I haven't done anything, but just by connecting Airtable to Skyvia to Google Looker Studio, I've already consumed 0.5 megabyte out of my monthly 1 gigabyte allowance, which is a little bit worrying because I haven't touched the report at all. I haven't set up anything. And during my previous testing, I noticed that you are also being charged for like moving things around. Here's what I mean. Right now, we are at 255 kilobytes, right? If I decide to move this a little bit, and maybe let's paste another one of these tables somewhere. So we've got another one of these tables because let's say I want to create another kind of module or something like that. And by accident, I think I've pasted a few more. There we go. So let's see how that has affected my consumption. I'm just going to refresh that, and you'll see that it will start to creep up out of nowhere. I'm going to start building a few things just to make this report fairly pretty. Just to let you in on my process for creating a Looker report, I typically start by going into the view panel. And first of all, foremost, I want to snap to grid. Then I want to set the grid size to the smallest possible value. As you can see, the grid is tightly knit, and I can start building my little scenario. So I'm going to start with a shape. I'm going to put a rectangle somewhere over there. There we go. So that's our rectangle. And now I want to probably just give it some border shadow. Maybe let's just add an extra filter. So I'm just going to add a data control, like a drop-down list. I'm going to bring this somewhere here in the middle. And of course, it's using Skyvia Connect as its source. Let's change the color of it. I want to make the borders rounder. And I want to add some border shadow to it as well. And in my setup, let's say I want to choose from the list of products, right? So I want to filter the lists below based on this filter that's going to be basically filtering by the products. I've not done much, and this is kind of still loading. Let's see if I've consumed any more of my allowance. There you go. I've doubled it, and I haven't really done anything just yet. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pause the video a little bit. I'm gonna create the rest of the report. Nothing super fancy, just something that would pass as a Google Looker Studio report. And let's see how much of that allowance I would have consumed by me doing this. So I've been working on this thing for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And I've come up with a report, but now I've refreshed the page, and what I can see is what you can see. I've been waiting for this thing to load up for a while. I've tried refreshing it again, so now I'm refreshing this again. Let's see if this wakes up. But yeah, it basically takes flipping forever to come to life. As you can see, it's still loading, and by now it should have loaded. It shouldn't take this long. I don't know if this is my connection or something like that, but as you can see, I've already consumed about 8 megabytes of my allowance. I haven't done much. I wish the report could turn up. Let's just give it another 30 seconds and we'll see. I'm gonna now try to maybe refresh the connection. Maybe something's wrong there. Everything seems to be okay, so I don't know if this is a temporary glitch, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to come back to this because it's simply not loading. I'm gonna go to my office at home and see if the problem still persists, but it's not ideal, as you can see. So I'm in my home studio the following day, and I decided to open up the report to see what it looks like and how it behaves, because I was suspecting that there was like a little bug or something, or maybe my internet connection at the office wasn't really that good. So but I'm kind of getting the same vibes here many hours later. So for example, I've got an error just on this particular module, something about Skyvia token being invalid. Then if you go into view mode and you try to, let's say, filter something, again, it just takes flipping forever to do so. This definitely isn't just a one-time thing, one-time bug. It feels to me like it's a pattern. It wasn't something that I just experienced off the cuff yesterday, because it's clearly continuing today. I can even try to, let's say I reset this, and let's say I add a new graph or something like that. Let's copy this, make it smaller, copy it over, and let's make the parameters a little bit different. You'll see how it still behave in a weird way. So let's change product to company or something. Probably will work a bit quicker, but still by now I should have all that data, all of that graph ready. I shouldn't really be waiting so long. But as you can see, it's basically the same story. So it's the next day and I'm back in the studio, and I wanted to catch up with the connection and to see if the board actually works. And here's what it looks like. Nothing works. Why? If I was building this for some kind of high-profile CEO, he would be really, really annoyed right now, because that's the typical client who needs this kind of advanced reporting. People who don't care about what goes on inside of the Airtable database, they just want dashboards, reports, high-level stuff in order to make decisions. So this thing now doesn't work at all. Let's give it a fair shot. I'm gonna refresh it. Let's see if it refreshes and if anything works. Hopefully it will work. I've refreshed it a bunch of times already, and I honestly pray that this is, because like one of the modules actually does work. The other one is blank for some reason. But as you can see, it takes freaking forever. Already it's on the back foot. This is really frustrating. Maybe I'm unfair in the sense that I have 5,000 records, and I honestly came into the studio today wanting to actually give it less records, maybe let's say 2,000 records, although I shouldn't be doing that. I should test it properly with 5,000 records, for instance, because that's the typical amount of data that a small business will have across, maybe a couple of years of usage of Airtable. But as you can see, this is still not working. That's it. I give up. There's no point in taking this any further. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you haven't signed up for any paid plans with Skyvia, but yeah, I'm not going to be recommending this to any of our clients until this has been resolved. I honestly root for them because the solution is amazing. You don't have to connect Airtable to any kind of external Postgres thing or anything like that. It's really nice. I love the convenience. I love the idea, but this just doesn't work. So yeah, that's it from me for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.